Well, we knew it was coming, and now it's officially here. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2022 Ford Bronco Raptor in all of its girthy glory. What's up, guys? I'm Justin with ExtremeTerrain.com, and today I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on Ford's latest addition to the Raptor fleet, break down the specs, and talk about what's different from your standard 6th Gen Bronco. So if you've been following along with the forums or automotive news, then chances are you probably already know that the Bronco Raptor is Ford's worst kept secret, right? They've been teasing this thing for months, and now, as of today, we finally get to see this thing in the flesh, which at first glance, I will say, the appearance changes alone are certainly impressive, and we'll cover that in a little bit. But first up, let's nerd out on some of the specs. As for the power plant, we have a highly anticipated topic, right? And as expected, for better or worse, guys, we have an EcoBoost V6 underneath that bulging hood. The 3-liter to be exact here, which Ford is targeting at over 400 horsepower while not disclosing any torque figures at this time. Now, for those not familiar, the 3-liter EcoBoost V6 is basically a board and stroke 2.7 EcoBoost and can be found in vehicles like the Explorer ST, which does make 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. Now, Ford has stated that the Bronco Raptor will feature unique engine tuning, which will no doubt push those numbers even higher, as again, Ford is claiming this is the most powerful street-legal Bronco ever produced. Now, that 3-liter engine will benefit from increased cooling, along with being backed by the 10-speed automatic transmission, which we're very familiar with, and no manual transmission, unfortunately, at least at this time. Now, while the V6 will no doubt be a minor disappointment for some in regards to the old sound department, Ford has tried to engage owners with 4 different exhaust modes, and these include a normal, sport, quiet, and the loudest of the group, the Baja mode, which will be shaped by the true dual exhaust system on the Bronco Raptor along with the exhaust valve. But outside of the engine, I would say the second biggest point of interest, for me at least, was suspension. Now, knowing what the Raptor name carries when it comes to off-road performance in mind, Ford knew they had to step their game up from the already stellar Bilsteins, and, well, they did, right? In true Raptor form, Ford Performance tapped the guys over at Fox to provide the 3.1 live valve dampers for the Haas 4.0 suspension. Now, internal bypass semi-active dampers to be exact, that do feature integrated reservoirs up front and remote resis in the back, along with unique control arms that all together offer massive wheel travel both front and rear. In fact, you're looking at 13 inches in the front, 14 inches in the rear, which is even more nuts when you consider this is achieved using the segment first 37-inch BFG KO2 tire, which is going to be mounted to one of 2 different bespoke beadlock capable wheels. Now, the wheels and suspension increase ground clearance to a ridiculous 13.1 inches. And fun fact here, guys, the Bronco Raptor can also tow 4,500 pounds, which, by the way, is 1,000 pounds better than your standard Bronco. And honestly, Ford could have just stopped there, right? Give this thing a little bit more juice, a gnarly Fox suspension, maybe some 35s and some appearance, and called it a day. But they didn't, not even close. Now, knowing that the Bronco Raptor was heavily inspired by the torture-tested Ultra 4 rigs that race King of the Hammers amongst other races out there, they knew they had to come correct and give this thing some pretty serious hardware. And as an Ultra 4 champion myself, no big deal, I was pumped to hear that they basically left no stone unturned with the foundation and driveline. Now, starting with that frame, guys, Ford went ahead and used a fully boxed heavy-duty steel frame with reinforced shock mounts to handle that anticipated abuse of the Raptor. Now, on that same topic, heavy-duty bash and skid plates were extended to offer even more protection underneath the truck itself. Now, Ford went ahead and even increased reinforcement in both the B and C pillars up top to increase your torsional rigidity by over 50% compared to a standard Bronco. But it's a driveline for me that's the star of the show here underneath this rig. In fact, the Raptor's axles have been given a serious upgrade in the form of a Dana 50 in the back, along with a Dana 44 up front, which, by the way, is the same setup found on the $200,000 Bronco DR or Desert Racer. But they didn't just stop at the axles. Things like the transfer case, front and rear drive shafts, and notorious weak spots like the steering rack and inner and outer tie rod ends have all been upgraded substantially over the standard 6th gen. Now, these upgraded axles are responsible for increasing the track width over 8.5 inches compared to a standard Bronco, which factor in these gargantuan flares here. And that is why the Bronco Raptor is coming in at a parking space testing 86.9 inches wide. That's 9.8 inches wider than your base Bronco. Now, this added width really does set the tone for a radically different, I would say, very muscular appearance. Now, some of the exterior highlights for me include the unique front end with that Raptor-specific or Raptor-inspired Ford grille and unique Raptor lighting package. You're also looking at a molded in-color hood vent and paint-match fender vents, which do balance both form and function, allowing engine bay air to escape. I'm also a big fan of the Raptor-specific rock rails here. These guys are functional, and they actually feature removable steps, which will help increase your clearance and breakover angle, while the unique tail lights round out my exterior favorites in the back. Now, Ford also gives owners the chance to grab a few different graphics packages, along with a host of your standard Bronco colors, with one lone exception being Code Orange, which is unique to the Raptor. Interior also gets some Raptor-specific love as well in the form of unique digital dash cluster, and this is something, guys, that Ford has gotten very good at doing as of late. You're also looking at a unique steering wheel with paddle shifters, unique seats with increased bolstering, and splashes of this low-gloss carbon fiber accent kind of throughout the interior. Of course, we can't forget about the optional Code Orange seatbelts, which will play nicely with some of the other Code Orange bits thrown around the interior touch points. So the big question is, how much is it and how can I get my hands on one? Well, base price is set just below $70,000 at $69,900, but as far as actually getting your hands on one at that price, given the current state of ADMs, good luck, right? Order banks do open up in March, and if all goes well, we should be seeing these monsters on roads and trails sometime later this summer. So as always, guys, we want to hear from you. Get involved. Are you digging all of this stuff, the hardware, the muscular appearance? Drop us a comment and let us know. In the meantime, hey, I'm Justin. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Bronco, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.